Hello and welcome to the Car Care Nut Shop. Welcome back to the episode 2 of the LS400 restoration here. Super excited about this one. Still excited. It's been a long day today. It's the first snow day in Chicagoland, so a little bit hectic. Water everywhere. So interesting day. Last episode we tore down the front. We got the one valve cover off. We cleaned it with our awesome Aqua Blast machine, Vixen Aqua Blast. This episode, I want to finish that side and cover it up. But before we start, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to take this valve cover, we're going to clean it so I can, by the time we assemble the other side and everything, we can actually give this side enough time to dry up. So I just like to give them a little bit of time because water, we don't want it. Although this engine's not going to run for a while, because last episode we talked about the compressor clutch being noisy and the fan idler being noisy also. We didn't get it, so we don't have it. We actually can't assemble this engine fully, so we'll get as far as we can go with the engine and then we'll park the episode right there. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So we're going to pull this valve cover off, but before we even begin, we have this PCV hose, which is a total rock. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the throttle body loose, move it just up a little bit, just to give us a little bit more space at the bottom to pull the valve cover, but I don't need to actually completely remove it out of the car. Just need to move it out of the way. Let's see if that plan actually works. Okay. Let's see. I got this one is a rock as well. So what's holding this is actually the PCV hose, showing pink, with the brake at some point. Be ideal, because we are replacing it. That's actually all I need. A little, whatever this is. Hopefully we don't find rodent damage in this car. So right now we're held up by this PCV hose. Start the negotiations with this one already ripped. Yeah, this is going to rip to shreds. That's what it's going to do. So I'm just going to cut it. That is the one thing, unfortunately, we do not have. It's discontinued. I believe we do not have. There was one hose I was missing. I'm going to have to make one for it. Let's see. It cooperates with us. There we go. We got it. We got it. Let's remove it all the way. Have to cut it as well. Yeah, this hose is not, that's not supposed to be like that. That's all the space we need to pull the valve cover. And I would love to do is get rid of this guy. It's also a rock. I think we're going to end up having to replace these. Most of these are very discontinued. I'm going to have to make one. Yeah, there we go. Waiting for that to happen. And yeah, that's not supposed to do that. See, that's the downside of having a car that is rust-free. Everything's like that. This little plastic piece. Okay. Let's see if we need to move that harness or not. There we go. This one, let's take a look at it compared to the other side. Yeah, that's how this used to look like for the cleaning. Let's pop the seals out of it. These don't have the sealer that the other side does. Yeah, I don't think that's been out for a while. There we go. All right, well, I think let's clean this. Before we do, it'd be nice to get the valve cover out. All right, this side is actually not bad at all. Side, for some reason, this side is cleaner than that side. Still have the same cap at the end there. This one has this harness in the way. We're gonna have to work around that. We'll get that. Actually, I'm gonna try to get it now. Yeah, it's not gonna happen very easily. How are we gonna get this thing with a wrench? Let's see. Does this fit? Yes, it does. This side. Yeah, maybe. Trying not to disturb that harness as much as possible. Let's see if we actually can pull this bolt out. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to move this harness out of the way. Yeah, this one. Oh, is that cap gonna pop off? Oh, the cap's gonna fight us. Since this cap has nothing really riding on it, but the little plug seal, here's this one. Gotta replace these. Talked about it last episode. Since we have nothing really on this, and these are exactly the same, I believe. Well, let's do one at a time. Let's clean the valve cover. Let's clean this cap, even though nobody's ever going to see this cap, but we know we cleaned it. Let's go back to our awesome Aqua Blast machine. I'll leave this to the side because that's going to be a little interesting to clean. That little piece going to keep flying off. Let's do it. Now is going to be the interesting part. This piece is going to be very tough to clean, but we'll clean it. We'll get it. Since this one doesn't have anything riding on it, and we can clean it very easily, I'm going to try the inside, see how that turns out. Now we're just going to do the cleaning, and we'll get them out. All right, I have a piece of the valve cover that came off. Not a piece of the valve cover itself, but a little grommet. So let's pull them out and see. Still gotta dry them up. Yes, this just never gets old. This looks beautiful. When you dry it up, it'll look even more beautiful. That's one of them. Right, let's go take a look at it. How about that? This thing basically looks brand new. So is the valve cover. That's what we love about this machine. So we're gonna stop on this one. And we're gonna put it to the side. We're gonna let it dry up because no matter what you try to dry it, some water may be in the baffle, so we'll let it dry up until we finish everything with the other side. But for now, we could start working on the other side. Now we do have that same cap on the other side. I'll clean it off camera here, get it nice and clean. But before we do that, let's get the valve cover ready. Then we're gonna do the cap, the cam seal. We'll do all the cleaning, all the half moons and whatnot, put our plug, install it, and then we'll keep going on this side. Yeah, these are the parts for the car. This is just 1/3 of the parts of the car. Let's go through them, see what's what. This is the power steering line, talked about it. It is aftermarket, it is discontinued. Same thing with this. This is the belt tensioner. Also aftermarket, also discontinued. This is a power steering pump. I'm curious. Yes, it does come with a reservoir. That makes me so happy, because that reservoir, somebody put something through the cap. I don't know what they were up to. Good, comes with the reservoir. That's for later. Now, radiator hose. Aha. That's the first part we need. Valve cover gasket. Distributor cap. I'm going to use this in a bit. Another valve cover gasket. This is radiator clamps. Don't need that yet. These are the plugs, which we're going to use. Throttle body gasket. PCV hose. Another PCV hose. And this is an idler. Out of the way. Spark plug wires. Ignition coil. This is... I don't actually recall what this is. Guess we're gonna find out. This is cam seal, I believe, or crank seal. Spark plug tube seal, so we do need that. What do we have here? Rotor, or ignition coil, drive belt, spark plugs we're gonna need, and not the hose yet. Not the other rotor. Why do I have all these seals? Huh. Let's get to that when we get to that. I need this and this, and oh, it's a radiator cap. We don't need that yet. I think that's all I need right now, and I have a feeling we're gonna come back here very soon. But for now, yeah, these are the cam seals. Gonna need those. I think we're gonna just take everything that we have. Right here. What we have here, this should contain everything we need, hopefully. Cam seals, spark plugs. This is the oil fill cap. This is a crank seal. And PCV hose. We only have one PCV hose, unfortunately. This is going to go with this guy. These we do need right now, and the valve cover gaskets. So, let's start with our spark plug tube seals, which I was wondering if these were original or not. Well, let's find out. Remember in the last episode I told you that they had a strange appearance. Yeah, maybe. They're completely different color, but Toyota is known to change the color for when... Nah, these are not even close to being the same. Maybe. Tough call on this one, because it does have a number here. Yeah, this is definitely not original, because it has a number that doesn't even resonate with what I'm seeing here. So I installed these. We had a small thing I want to share with you here. So you do not install these from the top, because they have a little bit of a lip here. You're actually supposed to install them from the inside. You're gonna go like this underneath this tab, and then just literally push it in. If it doesn't want to go, you're gonna help it a little bit. That's it. All these four are in. We're gonna install, which I do not see. I did not see it with the part. Oh, this is gonna be an interesting part to find, because it's so small. The PCV grommets. I am gonna though do this one since I have it. Did you know, and we talk about this almost in every video we do anything with a valve cover, there's a seal here that's actually replaceable, separate. And these love to leak. We do a valve cover and now there's no place for the vapor to go. It'll just start going here. It'll make a giant mess. Very simple seal, very inexpensive. Just replace it every time you do a valve cover. Now that I got this, I'm going to leave that grommet because I couldn't find it. We may not have it, so that we can install at a later time. Let's find out our valve covers, which in this particular engine, they're the same side to side. It's very, very nice. Yeah, whatever this was, it was not an original gasket. It doesn't open that wide. So somebody's been here. Well, seconds our theory of these not being original. All right, this valve cover is ready. This is actually this side. We're gonna do a few things. One of them is we're gonna get this cap out. Let's do that because the cram seal is there, so we can put the sealer. Now, this cap never comes off till you negotiate with it. This negotiation, I don't know. They're usually very simple. Here we go. I mean, look at this. There's just nothing left of that sealer. There's supposed to be sealer here on the edge, a little bit left here, and it fell off. I'm gonna clean this one, not on the inside though, because we don't want the new surface on the inside. But these, it's the cam seal. Looks original. I don't think this has ever been off. We're gonna start cleaning all this. Let's get our half moons out. Let's see if we get lucky and not have to use hard negotiations. There we go. Came right out. That's being nice. Got one more in the back. Ah, that one's not gonna cooperate. How about now? Are you gonna cooperate now? Let's see. Yes. Everything in a car cooperates when you get a hammer. And that's just how this works. So here are the half moons. We're gonna clean everything. And this sealer is just literally falling apart. So we got everything cleaned. Everything's ready. Here's that brand new cap. Always replace these. You see, folks, we'll take these out and put sealer on them. Do the job once, do the job right, and be done. Here is the cap. This cap doesn't have anything, that's why we clean the inside of it. We're gonna put some sealer on the tip. Right here. Just so oil would not leak to the outside. Install our cap. There it is. So the torque for these is going to be 12. This one not as essential because it doesn't really hold anything, but all right, this one is done. Now let's do the front one. The front one has the cam seal. Here's our cam seal. This is the easiest way to install a cam seal Toyota engine. Clean this a little bit. It does have debris on it, or it would leak. So here's an emery cloth. That's how we're going to clean this. If you ever have debris here, you gotta clean it. This is a tricky part with this one. See, I don't want to completely wipe the cam journal from oil, but at the same time, I can't put oil because we have sealer. So I'm going to put literally a drop here of oil when we assemble this. Let's put our cam seal. When we install a cam seal, make sure doesn't bind, which this one wants to bind. If it does bind, I'm gonna just put a little bit of grease on the lip here, just to help it so the lip wouldn't roll. And see if that works. Yes. That looks good. Lip didn't roll. No, it did not. We are good. Let's give this surface a quick wipe without pushing our seal out would be nice. Now let's put sealer on the cap. Now this cap, I only cleaned it on the outside because this is a machine surface. You do not want debris here. I'm gonna put a tiny dab of oil here. Don't want to go too much, then it runs where my sealer is. That's it. It's just to help that cam when we started, because I sprayed it with brake clean. There we go. These are also 12. Before we continue, there's a little bit of sealer that protrudes when you do this right here. Wipe it off. So we're going to apply a new one, so now we can take our time and not have to rush. You know, I'm noticing something with the area that we cleaned with the machine. So easy to wipe the sealer off of it. It's pretty cool. It's so smooth. Same thing with the back one. Yep, that's good. You got it. Now, the half moons, which the machine, by the way, that machine does not get sealer off. You see some remnants of sealer here? So I'm gonna get that off with a brush. But the half moon itself looks brand new now. Get a quick final clean. This one is clean. This one, we're gonna do the same thing. This one is good. Now we are ready with the half moons. Let's put them on. We'll put our valve cover. That's good. Next one. That's good. Now we are gonna put our sealer here. Sealer here. That's the one we just wiped off. Just thought we were gonna take our time, but actually could have left it on. It was still a few bits. All right, we are ready for a valve cover. Sure, we got. Oh, I forgot to put a little bit here in the back. We also put, oh, this one has a good glob. You also put where the half moon protrudes. But this valve cover, once I clean my gloves, because we don't want to get the nice shiny valve cover dirty again with sealer. Let's install it. There we go. When it falls in place, it just falls in place. That's the beauty of this. There you go. All right, I think we got everything. Let's install this bracket back. That's done. Got all the stuff done. We can install this plastic piece, but we gotta clean it a little bit. Can't put that back on that beautiful valve cover now. That is much better. That's how that looks. Let's install it. That just holds the spark plug wires. Nothing special about it. Since we are here, before we call this side completely done, a few things we gotta take care of. First is the PCV grommet and the PCV valve. That's set. Let's get our spark plugs out. Not too bad. It could be better. These are NGK, not factory plugs. They've definitely been replaced before. Not terrible. Okay, well, they're all not terrible. Not great, but not terrible either. Denso iridiums is what actually goes in this, not NGK. I think these are aftermarket actually. At some point Toyota used to put NGKs. Not anymore. Well, this side is officially done. We don't have much else to do here. We do have to put the dipsticks back. Leave that open. We'll pull this dipstick out again. Both of them actually. I just don't want to leave it open. That is good. Now we're basically gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. It'll kind of look like this. And we even got carried away, cleaned the rest of it. We are fully ready for everything. But before everything, gotta put the throttle body on. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put the gasket, which is a paper gasket on this one. Let's be careful not to damage it. There we go. Now before we completely go in, got a little piece of hose. Fortunately that PCV hose not available. That's what we did with the SC as well. The 400 that we've done. It just discontinued. Don't know why Toyota would discontinue one PCV hose, but not the other. That's how they do things sometimes. So we're gonna get this hose here. And the other one. There it is. We're good. These hoses we will also have to replace, but for now let's just roll with what we have. All right, let's get our bolts for the throttle body back. Now that we got this far, here's what I want to do. Let's put the water pump on, so we're done with that. We don't have coolant dribbling everywhere. I'm going to take the power steering pump and install the new one. Not going to worry about the line. I think we can access it. But I just want to, when we assemble everything, I feel like this is the easiest way to remove it is right now. Or maybe I am mistaken. Yes, I am mistaken. Let's leave that for now. Let's get the timing belt on. Change of plans. That's, you gotta adapt as we go. Here's the timing belt kit. This is an ASIN timing belt kit. This was what we use in the shop. They're exactly the same parts as OEM. After so many years, this one we are good on. We need our water pump. Beautiful ASIN water pump. It's great. It is the OE water pump. You have 5 bolts that it comes with, and I am looking for my gasket and O-rings. There it is. So, the gasket and the O-rings. We're gonna only use one O-ring right now. The other one is that thermostat housing we had a hard time with. Let's put this one right here. So old one and new one. I'm gonna put a little bit of silicone spray on it, just to help us with install. Gaskets, so I get the right orientation. This one. Go. There we go. These are the 5 bolts that always come with the water pump. There are new bolts. That's it. Our water pump is in. Now that we no longer have coolant all over the place, let's get our crank seal out. If it wants to come out. Come on, crank seal. Retirement time, Aries. See if that helps it. Yes. Does help it a lot. Install it. All right, that's good. I'll install our crank seal, crank pulley, idler, the other idler. Now let's start assembling our cam gear, but before we do that, we gotta put these brackets on. Install this one. And this one, which I believe this one jumped time as we were working on it. It just jumped, so I have to correct that. Let's torque these gears, which these ones are the 80 foot-pound. It's good. All right, now I think we are ready for a timing belt. But before we do, my gears moved. I'm gonna move this one a little bit. This one is good. This one, where are you? This one moved a lot. Oh, we are right on. So this particular timing belt, it's just like the 3UZ and the later UZ series. They are marked left cam, right cam, and then somewhere else will say crank. And the arrow faces the front of the car. So let's do this. This goes right here, right on the mark. This one goes also right on the mark, like so. Sounds good, good, yes. Now here's something with the UZ series engine, which is always the case. If you put it on time, you won't be able to get it to line up. So what I usually do is take the crank pulley, which I probably should have cleaned, turn it a little bit counterclockwise, just like so. Now it's stuck. There it is. Then I'm gonna double check, because these probably moved. Oh no, they didn't. Oh, they're behaving. I just said they're behaving and they're not. I can't reach. That's why you can't reach. Let's see if that does it. So I'm going to look in the mirror to see if my mark lines up, which I can't seem to see my mark. Where's my mark here? I can't see it. Can't even see my line. Oh, here's my mark. Yeah, I believe we're right on it. There's the arrow, and yeah, we're right there, I think. There is a way to find out. So now, remember this. See how you have slack here? No slack here. It's a little bit here. I want to move this slack around. So I'm going to put the crank pulley on. But before we do, so it wouldn't get stuck again, here's what you do if you want to clean crank pulley. Take Scotch-Brite, clean the bore of it a little bit, because they get all kinds of rust here. And that's why they get stuck. Same thing on the nose of the crank here. Let's break down some of that rust. Let's see if that does it. Yes, that's much better. See how smooth that is? We're going to take away our slack. Look how the slack is going to move from here to here. There you go. Now you're tight here, very loose here. And that's what you want, because that's where your tensioner is going to go. Here is that tensioner. Good, all aboard. Here's the pin. Now here's what we're gonna do. I gotta clean this cover. We're gonna put the cover, put the crank pulley, turn the engine, and then double check our timing. Always do this with timing belts, because that's the difference between you timing it right or you're one tooth off. You're not gonna destroy the engine or anything, but you gotta do this job all over again. Spend a couple minutes, make a step in your process to double check things. Never hurts. Even if you've done this 100 times and you know exactly what you're doing, doesn't hurt. Checks are good when you're working on a car. So let me clean this mess out and we'll install it and we'll double check it. Let's install the very important, if you forget this, we're starting all over. The car won't start. This is a tone ring for the crank sensor. See how it sits right in front of it here. Now let's install this dealio backwards. It's just the cover and our bottom timing cover. All right, now we're going to install a crank pulley. This will be off time because we timed it off, but we're gonna spin it and that'll be setting our time, if you would. Now we're gonna check our timing. This is an important step because depending where you leave your slack, you could have jumped a tooth, and this is how you find out. Now, as soon as you spin the engine, the marks that were on the belt become irrelevant. So now you're going off. This is one full revolution of the crank, not the cams. This is half revolution of the cams. I'm going to spin it one more time. Now we're going to come up to the 0 mark. Right there. Gonna double check our timing with the marks. Our mark is right here. I want you to come around and see it. Here's our timing mark right there. It's lined up with the line. This side, our timing mark is right here and it's lined up with the line. Kind of hard to see it. You gotta come from this angle to see it. You're gonna see that this mark right here lines up with this line exactly. That tells me our timing is on. We're done with this part. That's it. Unfortunately, we can't go further with the timing belt job itself because remember that idler for the fan and the compressor clutch? Well, we don't have those parts. So, yeah. So I think it is time for us to call it a night. It's very late at night for us. Make sure we turn off our ratchets to the off position and we wrap up this episode. Here's the plan for the next episode. So we filmed this in 2 consecutive days. That's why we didn't have enough time. And here goes my wrench. Even my wrench wants to go home. We didn't have enough time to get the clutch for the compressor that is noisy. We didn't have time to get the other fan idler bracket. They're actually coming in tomorrow. But tomorrow is Friday. And we don't film Fridays because TGI Fridays, you know, one of those deals. So next episode, which is we're gonna film it next week, I would like to get the engine completely assembled, start on the power steering system. The only reason I'm jumping into the power steering system is it's right here, and we may pull the compressor out, do the compressor, get this side of the engine assembled, and then before we roll into the rest, because it's much easier to get this power steering pump out. So I think that's what's going to happen. Remember, there is a weekend in between, so plans may change. Well, I hope you guys feel like you are along for the ride, which has been an absolute pleasure. I love this car. Look at this. Everything looks nice and shiny, not everything, but majority of the stuff, at least everything we touched, it just looks beautiful, doesn't it? I can't wait because this car looks so good. The interior is immaculate, but the mechanicals really let this car down. And hopefully after all this work, it will be driving and running as good as it looks and feels on the inside. Such a beautiful car. I can't wait. I'm going to take you for a test drive when we're all done with it. Folks, I hope this video was helpful and informative. I hope you learned something new. If you like it, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing to the channel. Check out some other videos. Until the next video, folks, may the Lord bless you and keep you, and you have yourself a wonderful day. Now we gotta figure out the spaghetti. Look at it.